Okay, we're going to get started. I'll just send this off and here we go. So we're going to talk about why you stay stuck in burnout. I'll give you a little bit about me and my background. So I was a neurodevelopmental movement consultant. It's not really well known around the world of what that is, but I work with kids with different diagnoses and working on the brain. So I have a background in working with the brain, and what I found that in the world of being overwhelmed and burnt out, we don't talk a lot about why it keeps us stuck and why it's so hard to get out. So it's been my passion to research and educate everybody on how it's not you, it's your brain. Okay, your brain is stuck in these patterns. So we're going to go through that. So let's get started. And I'm not going to sugarcoat anything tonight, just so you know. I'm going to tell you the real stuff that's really going on. Okay, here. Oh, more people are joining. Sorry, guys. I should also have an assistant for this anyways. Next time I'll do better. Okay, so I'm not going to sugarcoat anything tonight. So pretty much if you are a mom that's drowning and feeling like you are exhausted and overwhelmed, feeling like you're failing, feeling like you just can't do this anymore, you're going through the emotions, this is for you. And this is not another talk about you guys need to do self-care, because getting out of burnout is more than self-care and decluttering your room and, you know, taking a bubble bath. There's so much more to getting out of burnout or survival mode as a mom. So I'll give you a little bit backstory about me. 10 years ago, my son, well, yeah, this was almost 10 years ago, maybe even like 15 years ago, because he was diagnosed at 3 with epilepsy, and he had brain surgery. So I had 2 kids. I had one with special needs, one that had to have brain surgery, and it was pretty much seizing every day. And I also had a toddler in hand. So my life was honestly a constant doctor's appointments, therapies, back and forth everywhere, and trying to manage my toddler. So I lived in my car, I juggled it all, and I had no sleep because my son was seizing through the night. So I was super hyper vigilant, and I was totally burnt out. What I know right now, I was burnt out. But the scariest part was I had no idea that I was burnt out. Like, I had no clue. So the raw truth about burnout is it's not just exhaustion, okay? Because what happens with burnout will turn into survival mode. And once you get to survival mode, it's like danger zone, okay? You become physically, mentally, emotionally just exhausted, going through the emotions every single day, feeling like you're on autopilot. There's no joy, there's no emotions. It's just like this never-ending grind. And one day I was driving, and I thought to myself, I had this urge of like frustration and this anger, and I was thinking to myself, you know, what if I just smashed my car, into a pole? And I didn't want to do it to hurt myself. I just had this buildup of like, I can't live like this. Like, I'm so frustrated and I'm so angry, and I don't want to feel like this anymore. So it was just like, I wanted to just smash the car. But again, like I said, it wasn't to hurt myself. It was just this anger and frustration. So anyways, long story short, I was then diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And you would think that diagnosis of thyroid cancer would have been like a wake-up call to, hey, you know, let's pay attention to yourself. You need to take care of yourself. But the only thought I thought in my head was, okay, I have cancer. I have to have surgery. So that means I need to go to the hospital. And that means I am going to get a break from my life. And as sad, like it's sad to think that being in a hospital was a break from my life, because I couldn't do it anymore. I needed rest, and I needed someone. And the fact that a nurse was going to take care of me was what was important to me, not the fact that I had thyroid cancer. Okay, so it was gotten to the point of being really, really bad. Anyways, fast forward to now. So I'm dealing with still my thyroid issues. I'm good, cancer-free, and I'm very happy for that. I had this surgery. I'm on medication for the rest of my life, but I did have a scare maybe like 6 months ago, and my thought sitting waiting for those results was so different than it was 3-4 years ago, when they said to me, you have cancer, and I thought I wanted a break. This time when they said you may have reoccurring cancer, I thought, no. I cannot have reoccurring cancer. I'm doing so much better. I have a purpose here. I have so much to do with my life. Please, God, do not take me. Do not let me get sick. I need to do so much more things. I need to help my moms. I know what my purpose is. So I know that you guys can get out of burnout, because I got out of burnout. It took me years of figuring out what worked and what didn't work, but I know you can do it. So we're going to kind of dive into how to get out of burnout. All right, so there's a progression when it comes to overwhelm, burnout, survival mode. There's a progression that starts with you becoming very overwhelmed, right? As moms, we put ourselves on the back burner. Everybody else comes first. We also put on the I'm fine mask, right? I'm good. Every time someone asks you, are you doing okay? Yeah, I'm fine. How are things? Good. We put on and then we put on our Oscar performance, right? We say we're good, we're fine, because that's what we do. We're moms, right? So the overwhelm doesn't happen overnight. It's like this slow burn that starts. First, you're just trying to keep up with everything, and then it creeps up to you slowly, draining your energy, draining your joy, and then before you know it, you're like, oh my God, I think like I'm in survival. I can't function anymore, right? So being overwhelmed turns into burnout if you don't start dealing with it. And then once you are in the burnout stages, things will start to get worse, right? So as you start questioning yourself, this is where you start questioning myself, like, why can't I handle this? Or why is this so hard? Or am I a good mom? Like, I'm doing everything I think I should be doing. I'm keeping my kids happy and safe, but why do I feel like I just feel like something's missing, or that I'm not doing right? You start to feel like emotionally drained, physically exhausted, like the mental fog is there. Things that once brought you joy no longer bring you joy. You don't want to go and see family or friends. You don't want to participate in activities. You're just kind of getting through your day, and you're running on empty. So after you're in burnout, it gets to survival mode. And this is where I call the danger zone, because when you're in survival mode, you stop feeling emotions. Like, there's no joy, there's no sadness, like frustration, maybe. I think I had that frustration, but everything just seems very numb. You're just kind of like autopilot, just making it through your day, right? So what happens is your brain enters a protective state, shutting down non-essential emotions to conserve your energy. So at this point, you're not really living. You're just existing, right? So you feel so disconnected from your loved ones. You start feeling like you're withdrawing from, like I said, family, but it gets worse. Like, you don't want to do anything, right? Small tasks feel so overwhelming. Making decisions feel so overwhelming. You're not present with your family, your kids. You're just, I don't know. I just say it was like meh. You just feel like, okay. And sometimes you don't even realize that you're feeling this way. Like, I had no clue until I started coming out of it and started researching and writing my book. And when I was writing my book, I was like, oh my God, I had no idea how bad it was. Like, the fact that I had thoughts of running away, wanting to crash my car, like I said, and the fact that I wanted to go to a hospital to get a break. Like, that's scary. That's a scary thought. So burnout doesn't just affect your energy level. It's not like you're just really tired because you have so much going on. It has serious consequences that impact your health, and it can impact your relationships. So I want to talk about the danger zones, because this is something that I think is very important for moms to know. that if you do not get out of burnout and if you do not get out of survival mode, this is how bad it's going to get. And some people will say, well, my kids are really young, so let's just wait. Once they're older, I'm going to have more time. Well, let me tell you about that. You may have more time, but your brain that has now developed a pattern and habits and this functioning of staying in survival mode is not going to change because you have more time. You've developed these patterns, so you need to rewire your brain and to think differently. This whole time, you've convinced your brain that you don't matter. So it's a process to get out of it. Just because you're going to have more time or things are going to change and your kids are become older, it's not going to get any better unless you do something about it today. So with that, first thing is emotional disconnection, emotional detachment, which is a very scary one because that happened to me with my son who has epilepsy. He was seizing every day. And once he got better, I didn't even know this was happening, I started disconnecting from him because I was so scared that if those seizures come back and he has to have surgery again and I watch him get poked at and go through scans and hospital visits after doctors after doctor after doctor, I'm not going to make it. I won't be able to handle it. So what happened was I started disconnecting myself from him because I needed to protect myself. And I didn't realize I was doing this. I had no idea. Because at the end of the day, yes, you are a mom, okay? We know we're moms, but you're still a human, right? You're still a human that have basic human needs that also have basic human protection. Your brain goes into survival mode because you are constantly stressed and doing way too much, and your brain can't take it. And the only way to protect you is to go into that survival mode. So nothing else matters but getting through your day. So emotional disconnection can happen with your kids and it can happen with your partner. And that's just, and it's really tough. It's really hard to get back. I am working on my relationship with my one son. And the only way I can do that to get our relationship back was to focus on me. Because the better that I was, the better our relationship is going to be. And the better I am going to be as a mother to be there for him. So taking care of you is very important. Another thing that will impact is your health. I see and hear so many moms being diagnosed with autoimmune diseases, like unbelievably amount. And what happens is when there's chronic stress, okay, it weakens your immune system. So it makes you more vulnerable to illnesses. So I don't know about you guys, but some moms are like, I get everything my son or daughter comes home from, like daycare or school, I'm getting sick all the time. I have everything, right? And that's just because your immune system is like, it's weakened. Now, the interesting thing about this, though, I want to say is there's two sides to this. So either you're getting really, really sick all the time, or two, you're actually never sick. And that was me. Like, there's something called the letdown effect. Okay? So it's almost like if your body's stressed and you're go, your immune system is so hypervigilant, right? It doesn't present the symptoms of you being sick or something is wrong with you because it's in the state of survival. So for me, before I had the thyroid cancer, I actually had precancerous cells in my cervix, which I had to do a cone biopsy, which is like, oh my God, the most painful thing in the world. And after that, I suffered from depression. And then after that, I had my thyroid cancer. And then after that, I had fibroids. I didn't have any symptoms. I had no idea. I had a complete stranger tell me to check out my thyroid, who pretty much saved my life. Because my body wasn't giving me the symptoms of being sick. And this is called the letdown effect. So once I was go with my son, he was better. He had brain surgery. His seizure stopped. He wasn't seizing evermore. He was doing so much better. And all of a sudden, I got sick. And things started going downhill for me because my body was like, hey, hello, we've been here this whole time trying to tell you that you need to take care of you. And if you don't take care of you, you're going to make yourself really sick. And I know some people are going to think I'm crazy and think that stress caused my cancer. I think so, 100%. 100% I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer because I didn't take care of myself. I wasn't eating well. I wasn't taking care of my body. I wasn't even sleeping. I was so hyper vigilant because I was scared he was going to die in his sleep. So health is a huge one. Emotional detachment from your kids and from your partner. The loss of identity. Like sometimes you don't even know like who you are anymore, right? You have no idea. It's like, I don't know what I like to do. I don't know what my favorite color is. You want to see a movie? Yeah, sure. I'm going to get to all these comments, okay? I'm going to keep going, but I'm going to go back to these comments. You lose your total, like you just lost yourself. You don't know who you are anymore, right? So if someone said to me like 5 years ago, like, what do you like to do? I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, I wouldn't even know how to answer the question. So you lose your sense of identity and you're in this total mental fog, right? And we're not meant to be that way. We're not meant to be in survival as mothers. We're meant to thrive. We're meant to still live. But the stress that we are enduring and the stress that's going on is making us just not live anymore and just get through our day, hoping that one day it's going to get better. So it's scary. The health thing is scary. And I want to say that to you right now. If you don't take care of your burnout in the survival mode, you will make yourself very sick. Okay. Your kids are going to grow up. And at the end of the day, when they leave the house, you are left with you and your health and your relationships. So take care of you now. All right. So we'll move on. All right. So I'm going to get a little bit sciencey here. And I want to talk about the brain science behind burnout and survival mode because I need you to understand that it's not you. Okay? You've been in survival mode for a long time and your brain changes in ways that you guys don't even realize it. So it's not about being tired, about being overwhelmed. It is that fact that your brain has actually rewired, your brain has rewired itself to keep you stuck. Right? It's conserving all its energy because it's in survival mode. So think about this. It's kind of like, think about the brain as highways. You've got all these like 4 highways. When you were happy and you were energized, your brain had multiple roads leading you to joy, to an excitement, to connection, to love, right? But when the stress and then the overwhelm comes in, and it became your daily routine, your brain started shutting down those lanes, right? It started rerouting everything towards one single path. And that one single path was to keep you in survival mode and get you through your day. So your brain prioritized survival over those long-term things like happiness and joy and excitement, right? Which makes you feel numb. It makes you feel exhausted. It makes you feel disconnected. And then it feels impossible to change, right? Because once your brain adapts to survival mode, it resists change. Your nervous system has been trained to expect stress. So even when things start calming down, your brain stays on high alert. It's still like, yeah, this is, we're still an engine. We're still up here. We're in overdrive because who knows what's going to happen? So it makes it completely impossible to slow down and to start focusing on you. So let me give you another example too. So let's say you wake up in the morning. So instead of feeling like fresh and ready to go, you already feel like, oh my God, we have such a long day. And all those 5 million things are running through your head. And there's the mental load, right? And then you move through your day like a robot. You pack your lunches, You clean up spilt milk, you clean up the dishes, you clean up after everybody else. You're answering 5 million questions, you're breaking up fights, the kids are fighting. And then by the time bedtime rolls around, you realized you haven't even like taken a deep breath. You realize that that coffee that you made is still sitting on the counter. This is not just exhaustion. This is your brain running on autopilot. It's stuck in patterns and it's designed to keep you moving, but it's not designed to keep you living. And one of the hardest part about survival mode is that it dulls the emotions. And it dulls like everything, those good feelings. Like I remember not even feeling sadness. Or I remember explaining to I had a life coach, and I was telling her, it felt like, okay, something made me mad, right? And I feel mad. Like in my head, smart intellectual me is like, yeah, I'm mad at that person, or I'm mad that happened, but I didn't feel mad. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, right? I didn't feel like the connection between my brain and my body of that anger, where you're shaking or your face goes red or you're like, oh, I'm so angry. I felt there was no connection to my emotions at all, when it came to that, when I was mad. But there was no joy. There was no happiness. I didn't feel anything. It completely numbs you because it has to conserve that energy and keep you going and getting through your day. That's why you'll hear moms say, burnt out moms or moms that are super overwhelmed, I just don't feel like myself anymore. Because you don't, right? You're just functioning. You're just getting through your day. And you've been conditioned to shut down, and everything is just about survival. So one thing also I want to talk about is being stuck in survival. Why do we fall back into old patterns? You're trying to get out of burnout. You're trying to do things. They're telling you, declutter your room, self-care, prioritize yourself. It's like, okay, sure. Yeah, sounds great. And then when you try to do it, you do it maybe for a day or 2 days, or you do it and you feel a little bit better, but it doesn't stick, right? So survival isn't just a state of mind. It creates those habits, it creates patterns, and it's prioritizing stress and urgency, and it's fighting against anything that feels different. It's keeping you in the comfort zone because it's easier that way to keep you safe. Right? So sometimes moms will feel guilty for doing something, for like sitting down and resting. It's like, oh gosh, okay, I should get up. I should get up and do the laundry, and I should do those dishes. And did I do all that stuff? And you start feeling guilty, right? For prioritizing yourself. Your habits become this loop, right? An automatic loop that just goes, and you're doing the same thing over and over again. And change is hard. And it's the same thing for moms when we're burnt out and in survival mode. Any change is hard. As much as it seems so crazy, it's like, yeah, I want to get out of survival mode. But your brain is like, no, we don't, because it's comfortable and we know what we're doing. So we have to rewire our brain to think differently, to start believing that we deserve to be happy, that we matter, and that we need to take care of ourselves. So that's why you keep falling back in old pattern, and that's why it's hard to get out of it. And the one thing I want to say to you guys is, the one thing I wish someone had told me, because when my son was going through all the medical things, and I would reach out or I'd post something on Facebook and I would say, oh, it was a really hard day. And everyone would say to me, oh, you're so brave. You're so strong. I don't know how you do it. God wouldn't give you anything you can't handle. Da, 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 da. So sick of hearing that. And the one thing, or your super mom, and the one thing that I needed to hear, because I thought I had to be strong, I thought that's what I had to do, if not I was failing as a mom. But the one thing I needed to hear was someone to tell me, oh my gosh, how are you doing that? There's no way you are okay. I needed someone to tell me it is okay to not be okay, and that you are not a bad mother. and that you are not failing, and that you are so much more than a mom, and that you deserve to be happy, and you deserve to take care of your health. And who is taking care of you? What are you doing for you? Okay? Who's taking care of you? Nobody. You got to take care of yourself. And I want to tell you today that it is okay not to be okay. Because there are so many moms that if we were to listen to each other's thoughts, we are all thinking the same thing. Oh my God, I'm a bad mom. Oh my God, I'm failing. Why is this so hard? How does she do it? All the show. Social media is just a big show, right? So the good news is you can rewire your brain. Okay, so just like your brain adapts to survival, it can adapt to something new. But you've got to put the work in. You've got to be intentional. And the first step to understand that these patterns aren't who you are. They're not you. You're not failing. You're not a bad mom. They are not you. They're just habits that your brain has learned. And like any habit, like I said, it can be changed. Okay? Healing doesn't happen overnight. It is a process, but I want you to look at this process as a journey. I want you to think of it as you're like a blank canvas and you can do what you want to do, right? In terms of like, you want to pick a different color. You want red to be your favorite color? Sure. Maybe I'm going to be, red's my favorite color. And you know what? I kind of want to try singing lessons. I've always wanted to try sing. Like, think of it as you get to discover yourself again. So I don't want you to think is I got to find myself again. Okay? Because so much has happened in your life and you've learned so much about yourself and the world around you that you're not going to be the same person, but you get to be who you want to be. Like, you want to try something new. You want to color. You want to take up knitting. Like, whatever it is, try it. If you like it, great. If you don't, on to something else. But we got to rewire the brain first. Okay? So, how do we rewire the brain? There's 3 steps. Okay? So, first step is we're going to recognize and interrupt burnout cycle with self-awareness. There's a really good book. It's called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. And that's going to teach you how to become very self-aware in different areas of your life. Okay? So once you become self-aware, because when you're functioning in survival mode, you're, like I said, you're just kind of going through your day autopilot. You're not even paying attention to what's triggering you or paying attention to your behaviors and to your patterns and to your habits. So the book will make you realize, and it will give you strategies on how to do it. And anytime I would say anything about like recommending a podcast or a book, I want you to know that don't just go get the book and try every strategy in the book, because I'll tell you right now, I have read so many books, listened to podcasts, written down, made notes, have books after books after books. And then you're going to get frustrated because you're going to try these strategies and then you're going to like, oh, that was hard to do, or you won't be able to do it. And then you'll feel guilty and then you'll feel like you're failing because you weren't able to do those strategies. What I want you to do is just consume the content right now. You're just going to consume different content and kind of start training your brain to think differently. So you're not going to stress too much about the strategies. You want to just consume this content because we need to rewire your brain to believe that you can get out of survival mode, to believe that you matter, and that you believe that you deserve happiness. All this positivity, right? So you're going to have self-awareness. That book is a good way to get you started into paying attention to yourself. Number 2, you're going to be exposed to a new mindset. And then number 3 is you're going to start feeling like yourself again, and you're going to reconnect with yourself. So we'll dive into a little bit about each. So the first step is noticing that you're in burnout and that you're in survival mode. When I post my videos on TikTok, people are like, oh my God, I had no idea. This is what it is? Yes, this is what it is. No one talks about it. There's so much silence in mom burnout because we don't want to talk about it, because if we talk about it, then we feel like we're failing. But we have to speak up about it because we're all thinking the same thing. So, self-awareness. So let's do an example here. So you wake up already feeling behind, rushing through the day, snapping at your kids, and by the time bedtime rolls around, you crash on the couch and you start scrolling through your phone because you're too drained to actually enjoy anything. So you want to start noticing your behaviors and what you do, right? When do you feel the most exhausted? When do you check out emotionally? Is it at the end of the day? Is it the beginning of the day? Start asking yourself this question, like, am I just surviving today? How did my day go? Just pay attention to yourself. I always say, watch yourself like a hawk. Just take a step back. If all of a sudden you had snapped at your kids or you snapped at your partner or you're just feeling very overstimulated, take a step back and be like, okay, once you get through that, because we can't just stop it automatically. It's not going to change in a second. But take a step back after that happens and think about it. Like, what happened leading up to that? What is it? Did I not eat? Is it because I'm really, really hungry or I'm so tired? Like, pay attention to what is going on. That is self-awareness. Number 2, okay, you're going to expose yourself to a new mindset. I say this all the time. I do this in my videos. You need to consume so much stuff, whether it's listening to a podcast, whether it's listening to an audiobook, anything that you're scrolling through on social media, make sure it's positive stuff that talks about self-growth and self-development. You have to be introduced to new voices, new ideas, new possibilities, because that way your brain starts thinking. You have to train your brain to think a different way. So someone said something about self-care journals are helpful, or can they be overwhelming? Okay, so I have tried to journal. Journaling, I think it's great, but honestly, at the end of the day, I don't know about you guys, I don't have time to journal. I don't really feel like journaling. And I feel like if you like to write and that's something that you enjoy to do and you want to try to get back to it, you can be like, okay, 5 minutes before bed, I'm going to journal. That'd be great if you can, but don't stress about those journals. Like, trying to do it every day and then you don't do it and then you feel like, oh great, there's something else I'm failing at. I can't even do my journal. It's just too overwhelming. So for me, what happens is you change your mindset. You become very self-aware. You change your mindset. As you start changing your mindset, naturally, subconsciously, you are going to start changing things in your life. All of a sudden, you're like, hey, I think I'm going to journal today. I think I want to write my book today. And you may write it one day, and then next week you may write it in it again. Or you may be like, you know what, I'm going to start putting makeup on every day, whatever. Or I'm going to start dressing up a little bit better. Or I'm going to start taking care of my skin. Things will come, but they'll come in small steps. And it all starts with the mindset, right? We have to rewire that brain first. And to do that, you need to consume over and over again. Get some headphones, whatever you're doing around the house. Start listening to podcasts, audiobooks. If you don't have time to read, do audiobooks. They're really, really good, okay? Next, we're going to do is start feeling like ourselves again. So what I did is I made a playlist on Spotify, and I put songs that made me feel powerful because I wasn't feeling anything. And on Fridays after work, I would take the longest way home to get home, and I would blast my music really, really loud, sing at the top of my lungs, and it would make me feel like free. Like I felt like, oh my God, I feel like freedom. And there'd be days where I'd cry, and there'd be days where I'd be like singing and think I was like a superstar. But it just made me feel something. It brought me joy back because I realized that I hadn't listened to music in how long? Like I don't remember listening and having a playlist and listening to music. So you want to think of things that used to bring you joy to start bringing you back to joy. So playing an old song, maybe you used to like to color or draw, start those, like I said, start finding things that bring you joy. Because once you change your mindset, then you're going to be like, oh, I love that song. I'm going to start playing that song more. Or, all of a sudden you start dancing in your kitchen while you're cleaning. You have to bring things out in you to remind you that you deserve to feel happy, you deserve to feel joy. Taking a hot bath. Now, one thing I want to talk about, like stuff like that, like self-care, they talk a lot about self-care. And I feel like self-care I'm just going to kind of step aside. Self-care is like thrown at all moms nowadays. It's like self-care, you're not doing self-care. It's important. But the problem with self-care is, first, self-care is what you do every single day that focuses on you. And it doesn't have to be taking the bubble bath. It doesn't have to be a spa day. It doesn't have to be a vacation. It could be that I'm going to sit today and drink my coffee for 5 minutes. Quiet. Right? Something every day for you to remind yourself that you matter. That is self-care. Now, doing those things are a portion of self-care, but doing them sporadically here and there is not what you need. That's not going to help. I'm going to get to these. Okay. I have this quote. You guys can't see it, but on my presentation, you guys can see it. So burnout doesn't just steal your energy. Okay. It steals your joy, your presence, and your sense of self. But you don't have to stay stuck. Okay, you deserve more than just to survive. You deserve to live fully again. Yes, you are a mom. I get it. You have so much responsibilities. I understand. But you're also human. You're a person with dreams. You're a person with goals and aspirations. And there's no reason you can't do those things and be a mom, because you deserve to. So, long story short, here we go. Breaking free it's really hard. And I want to tell you this. I lived in survival mode for 10 years. It took me 3 or 4 years to get out of it. I'm at a point in my life where things are much better. I am living my life. I am pursuing my passion. I've changed my career. And things are so much better for me. And I know I can get you there. And it's having support as well. So all these things that I've given you, you guys can go out and do them on your own. I do have a workbook that you guys can follow as well to help you get out of survival mode. But if you guys are interested, I've created a coaching program. And I've created this because I realized that the self-help world and the coaching world doesn't tailor to the overwhelmed, burnt out moms. They tell you to do these things where I'm like, there's no way these moms are going to do this because they can't sustain that. There's, like I said, we have to go back to the brain. So I need to teach you to rewire the brain. So my coaching program is very different than any other coaching program. And I'll talk a little bit about it. And if anyone's interested, send me a message. I can send you the information, or you can hop on a free call with me and we can talk about it. So I've got 2 programs. So program number 1 is a 3-month program. And this is where we're going to talk for 3 months, once a week, and I'm going to help you get out of burnout. You're going to have homework to do. It is going to take time. It's going to take energy, and you have to be intentional about it. But that is the only way I can get you out of it, is to hold you accountable. Because sometimes what I found 3 or 4 years later trying to do this was I would stop, I would get better. I would stop, I would do a go. Stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. Because there wasn't anyone holding me accountable. So no one's coming to save me. No one's coming to motivate me. So if you feel like you need help, the 3-month program, you guys can't see this, so I can't share it with you. But the 3-month program is, let's see here. If you sign up today, it's $1,297. Regularly, it's $1,597. So for 3 months, once a week, we go on coaching. I will give you homework. I will never give you books, but I may give you podcasts. But the books, if I do give you a book to read, what I do is I summarize the book for you and just give you what you need. So I'm not like, okay, read this book and we're going to discuss this, because I know you don't have time. Now, the other program I want to tell you, because I'm super excited about this program, is my 6-month program. It's a coaching program for 6 months, once a week, same thing. We're still getting on a call, doing coaching. But the one thing that's different about this is it's such a deeper transformation is You will also get letters in the mail, not email, in the mail. You are going to open a letter. It's not going to be a bill. It's going to be a letter from me when you need it, with either a gift certificate or a book or something that you need in that moment based on our conversations that you're going to do. So for example, you may get a letter and it will say, this week, here's your Starbucks, that's just an example, Starbucks gift card. You're going to take this gift card, you're going to bring this book, and you're going to write about X, Y, and Z. And you're going to do it for 20 minutes. And then maybe another time, you're going to get like a Visa for like, I don't know, a Visa card or a Target card. And it's going to say, today you're going to go and buy yourself a new shirt. Or this week, probably not today. Okay, so these letters, I call them P.S. I deserve this. That's my letters. And they come when they're needed. They don't come every week, but they're going to come throughout the 6-month program with gift cards and instructions on task what you need to do. So I don't know if you guys seen the movie P.S. I Love You. I got it from that movie, and I think that you need to be reminded that you deserve to be happy and to take care of yourself. And I am here to remind you of that by giving you the letters and giving you the tasks to do. So my 6-month program, regular price is $2,197. But again, if you guys buy it today, it's $1,797. So those are the two options. And honestly, guys, if you're like, I'm not sure, I need to know more, you guys can hop on a free call. I do have in my bio on TikTok. I can also email out you guys a time that you can book with me and we can discuss more. I will offer this price till, let's say, Friday, if you guys still need more information on it and you want to hop on a call. I only have a couple appointments left, I think, this week, so you may want to hop on it right away. But I'm just here to remind you that you are more than a mom and that you got to take care of yourself. Okay, you're worthy of your time. You're worthy of the energy and your effort and it takes to heal. And I honestly want to help you get out of burnout because I was there, and I don't want you guys to get sick and to disconnect from your family and disconnect from your kids or your partner, because you matter too. You deserve it as well. You deserve to live, not just survive. So with that said, if you guys have questions, I'm going to scroll back through TikTok. You can put them in the chat as well, my guys on Zoom, and then I'm going to see if there's any questions, let me know. So here we go. All right. Oh, autoimmune disease, just got diagnosed with it today. Yeah, see, honestly, like the amount of illnesses that I'm hearing from my moms, and I just want to be like, yell to the world, it is stress. Our moms are stress. Moms were never like this. We talk about the village. There is no village anymore because we're not close to our cousins and to our grandmas. And, you know, we are not meant to do this all by ourselves, period. That is it. And unfortunately, yes, we don't have the village anymore. Okay, I'm going to go back and see if I can answer any questions. Zoom, if you guys have any questions, just put it in the chat. All right, here we go. So yes, I'm in Canada, if anybody's asking where I am. I'm in Ontario. Oh my God, I definitely feel you. Same exact thing going with special needs child. Yes, having a special needs child, it's different. It's hard. It's very difficult. And you're probably sick of hearing people say how much you're like such an amazing mom and you're so strong and they don't know how to do it. And I can't hear that anymore. So yes, overwhelmed and exhausted and can't even think about how to take a break. That's the thing. You have no idea what to do anymore. Let's see. Thank you for this information. It helped me knowing I have a name to how I feel. Yes, you have a name to how you feel. It's not you. Like nothing. It's not you, right? It's survival mode. It's your brain. It's just patterns and habits that your brain has created to keep you safe because you are doing way too much. You are stressed and doing too much, and it's your body and brain saying, hello, something has to give. You need to take care of you. Thank you for the comment. Okay, let's see. I'm going, hi, Coach Alex. Hi. Oh my God, can we chat in private? I finally found a mom that is going through what I'm going. Of course, please, honestly, guys, you can DM me. I will get back to you. I try to get back to all my comments on TikTok as well. Like, I think I have one video and there's like 300 comments, but I am determined to answer everybody as much as I can, because you guys take the time to comment me, and I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. And now that I found my community, I'm like, okay, I wasn't alone either in thinking these things. So thank you. So definitely DM me anytime, email me. Honestly, I will get back to you guys. I'm not those other, I don't know about you, but I've messaged other people and people just don't talk to me back. And I'm like, really? Like, it takes 2 seconds to just reply. Yes, I'm burnt out since Christmas. Christmas is another one. It's tough. Christmas, you are so, like, when you're in survival mode trying to get through Christmas, it is exhausting because you're trying to make everything perfect and you don't even get the moment to enjoy it. You don't feel the joy. You don't, that joy and that warm feeling of Christmas should bring you watching your kids and be present with your kids. You're still thinking like, oh my gosh, the turkey has to be done. What time should I put it in tomorrow? And so is coming over. Do I have enough cutlery? Like, you can't even like stop for a second. It's hard. Okay, I'm getting to you guys. What do you think burnout is not talked? Why do you think burnout is not talked about? Why don't I think burnout is talked about? I honestly think that everybody is scared to talk about it. Like moms, like I said, I think we feel that we're going to be judged, and we feel that if we say that we're burnt out and we're struggling, that we're failing at being a mom. And I also feel like society puts this pressure on us to do it all. Like, and then they praise you. Like, look at this mom. She works, she's a CEO and she's raising a family and woohoo, woohoo. It's like, no, like, that's why we don't talk about it, because society praises all this, that we're super moms and we should, keep going and it will get better, right? You're not crazy. It makes so much sense. I'm sorry you had to go through this. Yeah, it was tough. I mean, honestly, where do you start? You start with your mindset. Honestly, guys, don't stress about trying to do everything and anything. I always say start with your mindset and just consume. Don't do anything with it. Just consume it over and over and over again. And then naturally and subconsciously, things will change. That is the only way I got out of it. I decluttered my room and it went back to like craziness. And then I'm like, oh, it's supposed to make me feel better because it will clear my mind if my room is clear and if my car is clear and if my house is organized, I'm going to be so much better. Yeah, well, it's not going to last because your brain is still it's still in comfort zone. It's still going to do the same thing. So until you start consuming, your brain won't change. Yep, I thought of myself of not being around. How would that look like? Yeah. See, we need you around. Everybody needs you around. You deserve to live a fulfilling, happy life. Your kids need you. They love you so much, and they need you to take care of yourself. My kid lost their dad in 2023. That is what made me spiral. I'm so sorry to hear that. Honestly, I'm so sorry. And I can't even imagine what you're going through. And honestly, that's the hard part. And because when we're a mom, like I lost my mom 2 years ago, and I know it's not anyway the same, but the grief, it's hard to grieve when you are a mother, because you have to be strong for everybody and you don't have the opportunity to go through what you need to go through, because at the end of the day, they need you. Someone always needs you. So you don't get that chance. So I just want to say to you, take the time to make sure that you are taking care of you and grieving in the way that you need to grieve. And then your kids will be okay, but you also need to be okay for them. So if you need that, take that for you. And I wish you all the best. Okay, don't get emotional. Hey, okay. Doing anything is just so exhausting. It is exhausting. It is very exhausting. And this is where you're going to have to push yourself, because staying where you are is exhausting. It's not living. Oh my God, those last words will make me cry. I'm getting so emotional. And I think I know what you're talking about. It's okay to not be okay. That is what you're talking about. And I'm telling you that. It is okay. Don't have to be super mom. Well, as soon as I found something that made me happy, he decided he needed help too. It's hard. You know what? With our partners, I get this a lot. It's like, he doesn't help, and, and he should know what to do. And I get that. What I want you to think about is, though, when it comes to your partner is, I'm just going to say this, and I say this with love, and I say this with honesty, and I hopefully it doesn't backfire on me, but let them do whatever it is going on. Like, I just want to say, just don't pay any more attention to that. Pay attention back to you. Focus back on you, okay? Like, you are responsible for your happiness. And if that person is not serving you right now, then you're going to turn your energy and your focus on you. Because if you keep focusing on what he's not doing, and he's doing this and he's not doing that, that is pulling any energy that you have away from you. You're going to turn it around and you're going to focus on you. And whether he wants to help or not, you can have an open conversation. You can try to communicate your feelings. And I know I get a lot from moms, but he doesn't understand and he's not listening. And sometimes it's the way that we deliver it by saying, you're not doing this, and using the you words. You need to kind of just go back to, I feel very overwhelmed because I am X, Y, and Z. So turn it back to saying like the I, this is how I feel. And then understanding that, hearing them out too, right? So good communication. But honestly, I always tell my parents, or my moms, that like, if you focus too much on your partner and what they're not doing, and you can't communicate and it's not working, redirect that energy on you. Okay? Because once you start focusing that energy back on you, then you might be able to communicate better, and they may see this and things might start changing. So don't stress about that. You're just so amazing. Thank you. Can it work if I'm in Canada? She's in Canada. Irene thinks I'm in Quebec. Okay. Yes, grief and loss can cause so many mental health issues. I lost my husband 10 years ago. Youngest was 2. I'm so sorry. It is hard. It's so hard to grieve. Honestly, it's so hard to grieve as a mother when you're trying to be brave for everybody else and you don't get that opportunity. But be kind yourself. Be kind to yourself and give yourself grace. So many things happened before Christmas, so I was exhausted before Christmas. December was crazy. Yeah. Yeah, Christmas is a tough one. But we're in a new year, 2025, okay? 2025 is going to be your year of healing. Even if you don't do anything after today, because I know how this works. I used to do it. I used to get super excited and be like, yes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then I would do it. What I want you to know is every time you think that, or you do something for yourself, or you attend a workshop, or you pick up that book for like 2 pages, or, you maybe got up and got dressed today, or you brushed your hair, or you washed your face that you don't always do, anything that you do, small steps will make the big changes. You have like even tiny little steps here and there, they will come. But you have to do little things every single day to get to this point of getting out of survival mode. I have to head out. Thank you so much, Alexandra. I appreciate what you're doing for so many moms. Thank you for attending. Thank you so much. All right. Any other questions about mom burnout and survival mode? Thanks, you guys, for attending tonight. So appreciative. It is so underestimated because it's hidden behind the ability to work and daily responsibilities. It is so hidden because we just have to keep going, because we're like, okay, if we don't keep going, who else is going to go? And I get that a lot too from comments of like, well, who's going to take care of my kids? Well, no one else is going to do the dishes. Yeah, but the dishes and the laundry can wait. I get that. Maybe you don't want a messy house. I understand that. But the dishes and the laundry can wait. You can't wait. Your health can't wait. Your relationships can't wait, and your kids can't wait. What's one thing we can do today to start? Every time someone asks me, the one thing that you could do today to start is consuming positive content for self-growth and self-development. And I don't know if you're rolling your eyes and being like, what? Look at your social media. Only consume positive things. Your brain has been wired in a certain way. Okay, it's been wired for survival. You need to reprogram that brain. So by doing that, you need to consume content that is positive, whether it's a book, whether it's a podcast, whether it's social media when you're scrolling. Get rid of all the celebrity, the junk, the gossip. Get rid of all that. Just start consuming things that tell you that you matter and that you deserve to be happy and that you deserve joy and to live a fulfilling life and that you deserve to live, not just survive. Hi, I'm from Southeast Manitoba, Canada. Hello, I'm from Ontario. So all I say is consume, 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 consume. The more you consume, naturally, subconsciously, you will start changing things in your life. Not just declutter your home and make your bed and you're going to feel so much better. Like, no, I'm sorry. It doesn't work like that. All right, I don't know if I missed anybody. I'm still new to this live, so I appreciate you guys hanging in with me and trying to balance the two. I was doing Zoom here and my live at the same time. So I thank you so much for attending and sticking it out with me, the people that stayed for like an hour. So I am going to hop off. But honestly, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to message me, DM me. I promise I will get back to you. I promise I will answer. And I appreciate everyone following me. Honestly, I love building this community. I hope we can do so much more. I hope we can start speaking up and speaking our truth and telling other moms that they are not alone in their struggles and that we're all thinking the same thing. Hopefully there'll be a online summit very, very soon. And if you're in Ontario, I am in the process of hopefully, here we go. Hopefully having a workshop that's local that we can get together. And will I be going live more often? I will go live more often. Now that I've done it and I feel a little bit more comfortable and now I know how it works, I will go live more often. That's definitely for sure. So anyways, guys, have a good night. Remember, you matter. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel joy. You deserve to live, to thrive, and not just survive. So thank you for attending. Have a good night, everybody.